Mic check one. Mic check one. Mic check one.
Mic check one. Mic check two.
Mic check one.
I can hear you loud and clear.
We good?
Mic check two.
Okay, cool.
Loud and clear.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are around the world. My name is Bernie Moore.
My name is John Markowitz.
We are members of the Taipei Baboons rugby team, the world's premier touring team. We've been tasked with this afternoon's game, commentating.
Gives us great pleasure to introduce you to the teams as they walk out for their national anthems.
Okay, for Taipei, we'll go for the front row. Wei Lin Ling, Zhen Hong Wang, Hong Jia Chen. Locks, Gao and Lu, Hao Yan Lu, Yu Chia Liu. Flankers, back row is Han Zheng Zhao, 6. Yu Kai Lu, 7. And number 8 is Zhao Yi Zhang. Scrum half is Kai Yun Chen. Fly half, Ji Yu Lin. Wingers are Yu Hun Liao. Chi and Wang. Centers, inside center is Xin Xiang Zhou. Chen Wei Zhang, and the fullback is Kwang Hong Lai.
Starting us off at the front row for Hong Kong. Loose head Mikkel Christensen, hooker Callum Tam, tight head Rory Cinnamon. And it locks Sam Choi, captain. And lock John Howells on his side, flanker Max Walker, flanker Oliver Overman, number 8. In the back row, Toby Yurika. Our scrum half, the links between will be Sam Down, fly half, Thaddeus Summers, left wing, Liam Dougherty, center, Jack Abbott, outside center, Nick Carton, right wing, Oliver Duffy, fullback, Paul Altier. And with that, the national anthems, Hong Kong first.
Okay, let's get ready.
A quick shake of the hands as referee Tasuko Kawahara gets us ready to go. Chinese Taipei lining up on our south side. If you're just now joining us from home, we have Chinese Taipei ready to kick us off for the capstone game, the penultimate match between Chinese Taipei and Hong Kong, the reigning champions, as Asia Rugby Under-19 tournament makes its way to Taiwan. The Chinese Taipei will be the de facto home team, and off we go. Deep kick into the 22, fielded quite handily by Hong Kong's. Some steady hands from the scrum half, back to a clearing kick, and we find touch for the first line out of the match. Starting off with what appears to be a full line out. The scrum half's in the back, and we'll just have to imagine that they're going to go for a quick ball off the top. Not wanting to reach too hard against the Hong Kong extra jumpers, and sure enough, back we go, and we're off again to the races to the center. Two passes out to the outside. Now we're going to be stuck with the ring as a ruck, but it looks like we're going to clear the space. And now we're out to the back again. The scrum half not missing a single step. The line out was about 10 meters in from halfway, and in fact, the Chinese Taipei have lost ground, but now they've opted for the kick to just inside the 22, but no mark is given. No mark is asked. And no quarter is given. Referee happy, all the kickers and chase were onside. But we've had a ball loss forward. He's just changed it on the kick, and now we have a chase back into goal. It was grounded quite clearly by Chinese Taipei, but we're going to play that. The referee agrees the advantage is over. But we're going to have a quick consultation. The advantage is over, and we're awarding a 22. The ball's played into goal by Hong Kong. And we'll get started with a restart inside the 22.
Time off. Oh, yeah, time off.
Seems that we're experiencing some technical difficulties with the radio phonography. Seems as though the assistant referees and a referee in the center are unable to communicate. Bernie, how important is it the Chinese Taipei have just eked out over a heavily favored South Korea in the previous match? How important is their momentum coming in to face the defending champions today?
Can you hear me?
Well, with the Chinese Taipei team, they've done exceptionally well. They missed last year's competition. The year before, they actually came second against Hong Kong. This year, they're favoured to come within the top two. Hopefully, they'll probably, for their sakes, get into the winning position for at the end of today, which will take them up to one more division and get into the next class up.
In the round-robin style tournament with both teams undefeated, this is the penultimate and thereby deciding match, is it not?
It is. Hong Kong did go down one game. They were beaten by the less favoured Hong Kong team, which brought them into a bit of a dark territory, which they've been able to get into a better position by actually winning their last game very handily by beating Sri Lanka with a very handy score of over 35 points.
Seems as though the referee has sorted out his, just getting to sort out his microphone system. We have one AR scattering to the other side of the field. It should let us know that things are getting back to normal if they're not there already. Quick tuck of the shirt. We'll be back with a restart. Taipei inside their 22. Time on.
Okay, drop kick set down.
Oh, he sent it deep into the opposing 22, as a matter of fact. Let's see, will he look for touch or will he run it out? Oh, a quick up and under, but maybe a little bit too much distance, goes directly to the defending Taipei winger. Throws it into the center, and off we go again to the races. Chinese Taipei on phase number 3. Pretty simple brand of rugby, just trying to find any single hole in the Hong Kong defense that they can, but after 3 phases, give up for territory play, and they find touch well. That is a beautiful kick.
That was a very intelligent kick from that young man.
Full back line.
Okay, Chinese Taipei into the Hong Kong 22. Hong Kong throw it in. Let's see if they go for safety and use the number 10, put it back downfield and get it out.
So far, we're seeing the scrum half in a normal place. Getting ready for the overthrow pretty clearly.
Time to throw it in.
And overthrow it goes. The centers come up and we're playing on. They've chosen a more aggressive strategy, trying to catch Taipei off the guard. And in fact, they may have done, but still they're going for the safety clearing kick.
Once again, unable to reach the line.
Misses touch, unfortunately, for himself in Hong Kong, and off we go to the far side with the counterattack.
Good run there. Good break. He's through.
Oh, he could have gone on the outside. One more to the outs. Can he keep it inside, or will he get pushed into touch? He keeps it in, but he loses the ball.
Fast blue. Second wet.
First knock on by Chinese Taipei. Second one by Hong Kong, and we'll scrum to Hong Kong. The first scrum of the match.
Okay, it's with Christensen, Tam and Cinnamon front row for Hong Kong, up against the front row of Chinese Taipei, Lin, Wang and Chen. Down to feed scrum.
Crouch. Point.
And I think perhaps they'll send it straight to Summers for him to kick it out.
Lin will certainly have his hand full with us, with a larger opponent on the tight head.
Stay up, please. Stay up, please.
So much determines on the strength of this scrum these days. When one team is dominant, they know they can play wide, they can play deep, they can play in any direction, because the worst thing that'll happen to them is another scrum which they themselves think they can win. So the pressure is on for the first scrum of the match.
Yes, trying to assert dominance early.
20 jack. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Ball goes in.
Stop.
Hong Kong gets a massive shove on. An 8-man sneak, but nevertheless met with a brick wall of a defense from Chinese Taipei. Now they've gone for the box kick, but haven't gone very far. The challenge is on. And knocked forward by the chaser. We'll come back for a scrum.
Do not take that ball.
Just about 37 meters from the goal. Attacking Chinese Taipei. The front row really have their hands full. They're overmatched in terms of weight, but certainly not in terms of ferocity. They can certainly give a shove when the time is theirs, and now we'll see just how they do.
Yeah, let's see how the Chinese Taipei hold up against this strong Hong Kong opposition.
Now it's their put, and scrum half Chen is ready to go.
Set. Hold.
Waiting for the okay for stability, and
Chinese Taipei backline ready
absolutely
to
popped
run it,
up.
but
This is not the ideal start for the Chinese Taipei pack.
full effort, I think, an 8-man drive.
They're going to need to get that ball out as quickly as they can if they hope to retain possession.
Crouch.
Let's see if Chen and Zhang are able to work together and get that ball out early.
Set.
Seems though we have a diamond formation in the center field for Chinese Taipei, so they're going to want some options for the full and fly half
Ball's
together.
out.
The ball's made it out under extraordinary pressure as Chun, the scrum half, is a flood of red bodies in. They're going to try and stay on the outside, put pressure, and keep the forward pack drawn as far away from their backs as they can, or they hope to do some work. But the turnover appears to be won. Looks like a Hong Kong ball, and sure enough, it's out. And the back row is secure possession. Scrum half sneaking away with it. Out to the left twice, out to the left again. The ball's lost, but gobbled up again by the winger. And now we're on phase number 3 for Hong Kong.
No.
Securing ball at halfway point, playing left to right near the center of the field now. Asking questions of the Taipei midfield. So far have been answered with strength and matching intensity. We have a slow ball off to the right. Looks like we might have found a gap, but the tackle's still been made. Chinese Taipei are being asked the question and they're answering and saying no. Not through here. 6 phases later, they are awarded the penalty. Strong defense and a wonderful steal. In fact, 2 or 3 forwards over the top of that ball from an isolated Hong Kong runner who just couldn't quite make the distance on his own.
Good work over the ball there by the Chinese Taipei forward pack. Winning themselves a penalty, sending it back downfield over the sideline.
Lovely kick for touch, possibly a gain of 30 meters or thereabouts, and we're
midway between the 10 meter and the 25. Taipei throw in, hold on attack. Taipei backline is set for a standard backline play.
5 in the front, definitely the front runner. Oh, we've lost in a line now. Seems recovered by Hong Kong, by the Hong Kong locks in tandem. Offside advantage not gained, and we're coming back for the penalty just before the halfway line. Appears to be number 3, the tight head Chan. That'll be his first penalty of the match. In fact, not too many penalties so far in the 8.5 minutes. We're just under 10.
Holds here, kick for the line.
Oh, but he's missed touch initially. Will it go into goal? Will it go dead in goal? And he's put just a little bit too much on it, so we'll just come back for the scrum, no doubt.
A little bit of overconfidence there from the young 15. He had a great run last time round. Scored the bulk of the points for his team versus Sri Lanka.
Tried to bite off just a little bit more than was coming his way, and he sent the ball dead through goal, so we'll come all the way back up for the scrum inside their own half. So he can operate with that kind of confidence, because in every single scrum so far, we've seen a serious dominance from the Hong Kong front row. They're working together as a tight 5, and the back row are pushing on as well. Everything they do, I think, at Chinese Taipei to keep the ball, keep the pack steady before the scrum comes in. Open turn again. Fortunately for them, they'll retain possession, as the under-19 laws will state that the scrum doesn't wheel more than 45 degrees. But I think they're feeling quite lucky about that one. Seems we've heard a little feed into the ref mic. Someone's trying to milk the other team for a penalty. I believe that was in English for the benefit of the referee's ear, not our own. The ball's coming to the back. Can they get it out quickly enough? He's been absolutely mauled in the back. The 8-man's taken, or number 7 it is, who's gone 25 meters on his own, broken 3 tackles, and now is finally making... He's finally made his ground, but unfortunately for him, he got isolated. Now Chinese Taipei is taking the ball. We've only just lost it now in another ruck. Pass, pass, and pass out to the side. We found the gap in the center. There's one more offload. Can he make it? He's been stopped just short of 5 meters. Now we're going to ruck for phase number 2, if you can believe it. And all those different passes, only 3 phases in total. And now they've broken through the line for the very first try of their match. Scored about 10 meters from the far side of the pitch. We'll bring it back for the conversion. We'll see what he can do on his first attempt for kick points. Scrum looks to his right, looks to his left, passes to the 8-man, who's always in a handy position. The power from Eureka is just too much for the centers and the back line to handle, and he goes through for 5 points.
Yes, it was a good set of play from the Hong Kong team. They cleaned up a good run there from the number 7 overman when he took the ball off the Chinese Taipei halfback and then ran down the sideline for a good 20-30 meter gain. It was a bit messy the initial point. After that, they managed to regain and then spin it out wide, a couple of tackles there, and then Jureka was able to crash through, taking a couple of players past him and going over the try.
In fact, I don't think I've ever seen 3 changes of possession without a single ruck, but they've been stripped off the tackle 1, 2, 3 times in a row, and then finally Jurek in, as you said, Bernie, in for the first 5 points of the day.
And here's our man Altier for the kick. Sun in the face. Wind going right to left, so he's kicking into the wind slightly.
Crowd not offering too much help, but we've gone dead through the center. That is an excellent kick with all the factors working against him, and now we're up 7-0. Hong Kong on top. 12.5 minutes gone in the first half. Will we choose a new strategy for restart? We're going to go deep into the 22 and put Hong Kong under pressure. We'll see. Same again. Hong Kong under pressure inside their own 22. Faces a blue wall defending. Not getting through, perhaps just maybe 1 meter outside the 22, if at all. Are we inside or outside, I wonder? And now the ball's not found touch anyway, so regardless, we're playing on. The winger snatches the ball in mid-flight and runs forward and regains possession over the ruck, and now just outside the 22, Taipei attacking.
This Hong Kong team's dominance in the scrum in the first 15 minutes of this game must be quite a troubling sign for the Taipei coaching staff.
If I'm the forward packs coach, I'm thinking, what can we do to get that ball out any sooner? And what can I do if I'm the backs coach? I'm thinking, what can I do to keep some scrums from happening? But unfortunately, we haven't found the answer yet, because on phase number 4, which has normally been the clear out phase for Chinese Taipei, they've been unlucky and bumped the ball forward about 10 meters from halfway. Now it'll be another scrum to red, who will for sure be vying for a penalty and asserting their dominance and continuity.
I must say I've been surprised by how dominant the Hong Kong team is in the first 15 minutes, because the Chinese Taipei team has shown in the last 2 matches they're no slouch.
Though the Chinese Taipei seem to be no slouch indeed and have taken good care of their scrums in the past several matches, it seems that Hong Kong are firing on all cylinders, and in fact even a little anxious. They've got the shove on again, although wheeled a little bit, and they put a pop over the top, but it's been recovered not far enough. Taipei's got the ball. Look at the moves from winger number 11. Liao is on the way and made about 10 or 15 meters on his own and juked 2 players, missed 1 tackle. The ruck is reset for phase number 3. Almost found a gap in the center, but the Hong Kong defense closes in quickly. On phase number 4, we kick it inside the 22. See what'll happen. Has it been off the foot? Has it come off the foot of a Hong Kong player?
No, it looked like it just bounced out, so it'll be a Hong Kong throw-in.
It'll be a Hong Kong throw-in about 20 meters, about 15 meters from their own goal.
I must say, I think Hong Kong was a little bit shocked after the result in the first match when Hong Kong versus Korea. I think they came in expecting to win that match, but then Korea gave them a bit of a punch in the mouth. Now they're basically playing catch-up in the last 2 matches. They put 38 points up on the Sri Lankan last match, and I think this match they need to beat Taipei in order for them to win.
Well, they're not pulling out any stops. They've decided to form a maul, a driving maul from their own half. Although they haven't made much ground, now going for a clearing kick instead, opting to find touch at around about 10 meters from halfway. We Chinese Taipei to attack in the Hong Kong half.
Well, I think the Hong Kong team was just wanted to get a cleaner platform for their kicker to get a nice clear-out kick.
In fact, they've managed that in the previous 2 lineouts as well, and I'll be interested to see what their new trick is for a similar platform. Now it's Chinese Taipei turn to wow us all with their antics in the lineout, and goes to the second jumper off the top to the scrum half, to the fly half, to the inside center, and now to the outside center of a ruck. The ball is secure for phase number 2. A tackle on the fly half, who's showing no fear attacking the line.
That pass was very borderline to a hospital pass. He pretty much received men of both.
Referee playing And a penalty advantage now. They've lost the ball on a knock forward, but regardless, we'll come back for the high tackle at about 10 meters and 10 meters into the half. Chinese Taipei looking for touch. Oh, has he gone through goal? No, he has not. In fact, he's found touch handy enough.
That should be a nice attacking platform.
Oh, about 15 meters from the goal, 12 to 15 meters from the goal line. Now we have Chinese Taipei lining up 4, 5, maybe even a 6th. Wayne, I don't see the normal scrum half in position to catch, do I?
No.
Could we expect a driving maul then? 2, 3, and 2 in the back. Let's see what happens. Going to the rear jumper, going to the first jumper. That's a pretty slick trick as he stayed in. Oh, he's lost the ball forward. He's thrown to the front jumper with all kinds of chaos in the back as a distraction, but to no avail as they lose it forward. After the first tackle, now will be a scrum to Hong Kong, who can't wait to sink their teeth into another one.
It was a little bit of trickery. They're trying to call Hong Kong off guard in the front, but it's a shame that he just couldn't hang on to that ball.
In fact, I think they were successful in doing it too. If only they had kept their sticky fingers on, they could have possibly run around the corner and asked some questions of the fullback and wing. Unfortunately, the opportunity's gone for missing, and now a defensive scrum for Hong Kong, who have absolutely no trouble maintaining their stability and drive it as far as they're allowed under the World Rugby under-19 laws, securing the ball still inside their own 22 with a little box kick, a handy box kick out, and finding touch. A beautiful kick, but not given a whole lot of extra space from the assistant referee on our side, who says it was a nice kick, but you've only made it about 15 meters for yourself.
I must say this is a surprising turn of event for Chinese Taipei. They, in the last couple of games, their scrum has not been that dominant, but today Hong Kong seems to be just turning up the heat on this scrum.
No holds barred, and now we've got a successful Chinese Taipei line out. Oh, in fact, it's been knocked forward on the re-clearing kick. So Chinese Taipei looks like they may have won a little bit of lottery and trying to get out of jail for free. After winning the line out to a beautiful throw to the back jumper, we went for an immediate up and under, but with no one there to attack the ball. In fact, Hong Kong just managed to misfield it, possibly lost it in the sun or the rafters, and sure enough lost it forward for a scrum to Taipei.
Well, I don't know about winning the lottery. I mean, facing that Hong Kong scrum pressure, this is not going to be a walk in the park.
That's a strong point you make there, Wayne.
As soon as they put that ball in.
I'm actually quite surprised they didn't opt for the lineup.
I don't know that they had the option, unless did the ball come directly out?
I think it bounced in and then went out.
Seemed like the whistle blew before the opportunity could come.
Now you're right.
Unfortunately enough for Taipei, but that's not the way the chips fell this time.
Set.
Let's see. Oh, now that's it. Now get the ready to get the shove on now, but they're already turned about a few degrees. That's a quick ball out for an 8-man sneak, and sure enough, he goes, makes 10 meters on his own. Penalty advantage being played for a slow roller and a slow tackler not going away, and now we have another guy off his feet from Hong Kong, and Hong Kong are in trouble now. We have 2 penalties, and the referee will be thinking to himself, now that's 2 in a row in the attacking red zone. What are we going to do about it? Hong Kong will be on their hind feet for sure. Come back for the penalty as we go nowhere in the 4th phase.
That was a much better platform for the Chinese Taipei team. They got that ball out of the channel quick into the hands of the number 8. And number 8 makes some nice ground up there.
They seem to have gotten a squeeze on in their scrum as well, defending handily against the front row of Hong Kong, who've so far been completely ruthless.
Absolutely. I'm going to hand the ball back to my esteemed colleague, Mr. Bernie Wong.
Ready? Number 7, go away.
Thank you for that, Mr. Wayne Koo.
Welcome back, Bernie.
That was a nice quick break I just took. And looks as though a little bit of action happened while I was away. Chinese Taipei up on attack now, 5 meters out from the Hong Kong try line. Their throw in.
And DJ, you missed some bang-bang action resulting in 7 Hong Kong points, the first of the match. We now have just under 15, in fact, 13.5 minutes remain in the first. And an attacking line out at the 5 meters. Oh, beautiful trickery at the front of the lineup, going to the second man, still in the front. Catching Hong Kong off guard for a clear run. Could we go over the top? Let's find out.
We can go sending it wide.
Sending it wide, a second option.
Inside
Back on the an inside line is gorgeous line from the scrum half in support.
Quick ball and long. And
One more, two more. Must be a try, must be through, and he's gone through. 5 points to answer Hong Kong 7. Bravo, well done to the home team. The crowd is going insane behind him. That's a thrill of a lifetime for the youngster. He's gone around and scored his first 5 points of the day, and he's hoping for more, you can tell.
Excellent try there for Wang on the wing, right-hand wing.
An excellent use of space. They found that they could suck in the forwards on the far side of the pitch, is what they've been intending to do all day long so far, and they finally succeeded picking a hole. And in fact, they run a beautiful inside line off the center field ball, and then out to the side as the last of the defenders file in. It's just too much space for one fullback to cover.
Excellent work from the winger there, holding his position and not being drawn in. Staying there to be the extra man and for the pass. Very intelligent play.
We're now lining up for the kick to see if we can make it 7-all tie game with just 12 minutes remaining in the half. You can hear a pin drop in the stadium.
Composing himself.
The charge is on, and let's see, can he get it? He's got the distance, has he got the angle, but he hasn't, so we remain Hong Kong 7, Chinese Taipei 5. Under 12 minutes remaining in the half.
Okay, result here.
This would be the first kick for restart for the Hong Kong club. They choose to switch the side, go sneaky to the right, and ask some questions of the space, and we have some trouble answering. We've been under too much pressure, the Chinese Taipei. We've sent it directly into touch, and now possibly the worst start they could have hoped, the worst restart they could have hoped for, and now they go from scoring 5 points on one corner, and now they're at the exact opposite of the corner, about 6 meters, 7 meters from their own goal.
Time to throw in.
Scrum half looking off from a distance in the back. You have to know they're going for a driving maul, and they do, but Chinese Taipei get involved early and often, and they've got the numbers. They've defended it once. The referee says the line out is over. Let's see about the maul. Will he get wheeled into touch? Let's find out. The ball's been freed. Are we still a maul, or are we a tackle? It seems that Hong Kong have retained possession, but only barely so. They're recycling off into the strong side. They've got a lot of distance to cover, even though it's only 8 meters. There is no way getting through that blue wall so far. Center on center, punching tackle. The ball's free. Phase number 3. The flankers are relentless, and now they've won the penalty advantage for the Chinese Taipei, not rolling away quickly enough at the tackle, and that will almost surely result in 3 points, as we're 5 meters and about 5 meters from a goal, and unfortunately for Chinese Taipei, almost practically in front of the sticks.
Yeah, unable to do that tackler to get away. Put a good tackle in, but unfortunately he got twisted and ended up on the wrong side and buried by some of his own players. Consequently giving away the penalty, which is unfortunate because it looked like Chinese Taipei were doing a really good job there.
There certainly wasn't any malice in it, but it's a bit unlucky, and the referee says if you've put yourself there, it's your job to get out. And unfortunately, he didn't leave himself a whole lot of space to do it. And no surprise, the forward pack are hungry for more and opted for a scrum 5 meters out.
Okay, down to feet. Probably see Jureka come off the back there.
Just as before, we'll see a wheel to the open side of the field. See Eureka come off the back. Oh, and he does, but he goes to the right, and he gets met by the opposing scrum half, who says, not on this side, you won't.
Good battle up front there. Heads down, trying to drive through. Look for a pick and go.
Well, the tackle's made. In fact, they even lost some meters, Hong Kong did on this one, but they are banging away at the front door, and Taipei will have a lot of work to do to keep them from getting anywhere at all.
Sorry for the mistake from the Hong Kong team.
We're still down here as a result of the very first restart.
Should be taking this guy out now. He reaches over the top, passes it out.
Tackle's been made. We're only a meter from goal, but we're well into the corner now, and it'll be very difficult for Hong Kong to go anywhere except back to the center. They'll have to go another couple of pick and drives if they need any options at all. Well, they've won the penalty, and the referee's not impressed. The time's come off, and I think we're checking. I seem to be checking quickly for a head injury, but we're in good shape after all. The referees.
Not rolling away. After that, 2 offside. Be careful. Okay?
And the referee's not impressed with the number of penalties inside the red zone, as they call it 5 meters in attack. And we have number 5 not rolling away, and number 2's offside. So unfortunately, it results in a word to the captain.
So that'll be a final warning, would it?
You would have to suspect, Bernie, that the next time we'll be looking at the pockets for more.
Especially if Wong, number 2, infringes again.
In fact, I think if anybody infringes in the next couple of minutes in this zone, I think we might see someone missing out on 10 minutes of this match. But we're hoping not to see anyone leave the field on either club, as we're in for a cracking match of rugby so far with 15 on 15.
Okay, look to Hong Kong to put a big drive in and probably take it all the way to the try line. See if Jurica can do it.
Well, they can only make it about 1.5 meters under the under-19 rules, and you hear the referee shout stop, and Jurica goes again, but to the strong side, faces 3 defending, waiting, hungry backliners who now get amazing line speed and absolutely crush it in. They say not on this line and not on that line. It's now 3 defenders to bring down 1. Oh, he's made some fine running for himself, but held up just prior to goal. We're still attacking. Will he ground it against the posts? And he has.
7.
That's his 8th carry of the match.
Overman.
For the strong side flanker Overman, who has now been rewarded with 5 points just outside the post. That is a very strong run by the confident Overman, number 7 flanker, who's been no slouch himself today, although Uric has been putting in a lot of work as well. In fact, the grounding has been awarded inside the post, so not much of a challenge now to make it 14, and that is exactly what we've done with just about 11, there's just about 6 minutes remaining in the match.
So your point about the 1.5 meter drive is a limit.
It's the limit for the under-19s, as being an under-19 tournament, as it is sanctioned by World Rugby. We're limited to a 45-degree turn of the angle and 1.5 meters on the push.
And 35-minute halves.
As well, we have only 35-minute halves, hence only 6 remaining now, with a score of 14 Hong Kong to Chinese Taipei's 5. Time is blown off, but blown back on, and now we go for a massive hoof inside the 22, putting Hong Kong under not too terribly much pressure, but certainly deep inside their own half, for what results in an excellent clearing kick. And we thought for a second about taking the quick throw in, but we thought better of it apparently, and we're going to walk it back up to the original mark of touch, which is about 10 meters inside the Hong Kong half. So far on the set piece, the lineout's been working a little bit better than the scrum. We've been mixing up several options. And again to the front jumper. The scrum have managed to get the ball off before Overman absolutely smashes him. Now, we have the Hong Kong's enclosed them dramatically, and we made no ground whatsoever. In fact, they went backwards and have been forced to kick. Hong Kong says no thank you, and puts it deep into the half for Chinese Taipei. Now on the counter kick said, well, you know what, we'll take another try at it, and this could go back and forth for a few minutes. And we'll probably expect another up and under here shortly, but scrum half says, actually, let's have a run. And we're right back to where we started, but on this side of the field, about 10 meters inside of the Hong Kong half. And referee playing penalty advantage said, no, sorry, you went too soon to the back line. In fact, you've gone twice, and now we're in trouble because we just had a chat to the captain.
14, number 10. Good. Captain.
Number 14 and number 10 have been called offside by the assistant referee. We've just had another offside penalty. Unfortunately, the captain's going to hear about it, and like I mentioned, we might be seeing something from the pockets here.
14 is offside. Repeat it. You understand? I will go next step. You understand?
Well, so the referee has determined that he doesn't want to issue the card so far away, maybe from in goal, but it's repeated infringements for offside alone, and that's not just cynical, but in fact another warning for another infringement. And Chinese Taipei are certainly in penalty trouble at this stage. They're going to have to make it out of the half or nearly to the end, unless they're fishing for a yellow card in 10 minutes in the bin.
Okay, 4 minutes left in the half. Hong Kong throw it in. Someone spins it out.
A fly up to the center, goes for a recycle, and he's far out to left, calling for the ball. He's screaming for the ball. Summers is saying me, 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 but in fact it goes to the right side off for, oh, the winger says up and under, I'll take it myself, as a matter of fact. Gets the bounce, and he will score all by himself. Well done. That is a handy ball.
That's a great try by Altair.
That is great by the fullback Altair, who says, you know what, I've got this by myself today.
Yeah, he's a talented player, that boy.
Well, the backs were split, some to the left, some to the right. Scrum half sees the space off to his right, and fullback, well, it was 3-on-1, but he had the front foot and puts it right over the top of the defenders, catches a lucky bounce, and there's no one left to defend the line, bringing the score to 19 points to 5, and he'll be taking his own kick, I presume.
Well, he's been taking all the kick in the last week. So, well, Hong Kong's been up.
So far, he's 2 for 2 on conversions. Let's see what he can do for himself. Oh, he goes essentially untouched into goal from almost the halfway point. That is a fabulous run. That's excellent strength from the fullback Altair.
Well, this kick is pretty much straight, right in front of the post.
10 meters out, pretty much in front of the post. Some cheeky horns from the crowd, but does not deter, does not distract, and we've gone through for 21 points to 5. Hong Kong on top.
So far, Hong Kong has been pretty dominant in every aspect of the game. Chinese Taipei scored a nice work try up in the corner, but apart from that, Hong Kong, I gotta say,
Chinese Taipei, Wayne, have had their hands completely full from the scrums, the lineouts. Their lineout, the set piece, been working well, and they've been kicking for very good accuracy, but we've just almost seen no mistake in any phase of play from Hong Kong, who are relentless and ruthless and chasing their kicks down, preventing the quick throws, and not letting a single inch, not letting a single second for the Chinese Taipei to breathe. About a minute and a half remains in the first half. And we'll restart with a line out once again, 10 meters into the Hong Kong half.
Well, I think the Chinese Taipei, well, the Hong Kong coaching staff probably watched the last couple of games and realized the strength of the Chinese Taipei team, which is in the rush defense. As you can, well, as you've experienced firsthand in the couple of weeks before. I think by taking it away from their rush defense, they're setting the tone for the game. They're setting the pace, and then so far they've been absolutely dominating. If this match keeps the way that it's going, Hong Kong is going to retain their title for the Under-19 Asian Championship.
For the reason that we don't know, it looks like, well, the clock has stopped now. It looks like we have Chinese Taipei players in trouble. Fortunately, it looks just like a lower extremity, something in the leg, maybe a cramp. We're hoping nothing too serious. Time's off with about 40 seconds remaining in the first half. But as you said, Wayne, Hong Kong have been dominant in just about every phase of the game, every stage of the game, every set piece. They just don't make a whole lot of mistakes. If there's a chink in the armor, they've gone a couple long on a few kicks and found themselves coming back a few extra meters by getting a little bit greedy for distance. Case in point, they've just won the line out, gone four faces and even made about 10 meters from them with no reason to expect that their pick and drive wasn't going to keep working. And for reasons unbeknownst to ourselves, the Hong Kong scrum half goes over the top, possibly in a set play for a box kick, but just sends it directly into touch, and we're back for yet another functional and one Chinese Taipei line out. Though they've won the line out, they haven't gotten any distance from it yet because the Hong Kong backs are up like a red flood. Oh, but he's just gone too soon. Just as soon as I said it, the line speed's just a little too fast, got a little too anxious, and now we have a penalty advantage about 40 meters out, dead in front of the sticks.
Yeah, it looked like the...
Are we going to go for some points before half? Because we're just out of time. Let's see what we decide.
It looked like they're pointing to the post.
I think they'll be very happy to take an attempt for points and then regroup.
Oh, this is actually perfectly within range of the Chinese Taipei kicker. Lai.
Easily.
In that little skirmish match, the Chinese Taipei versus Taipei Baboon, he pretty much slotted exactly, probably a little bit further out than this one.
As I recall, I was getting beat around the outside by their scrum half, playing his opposite position, and he managed to make this same kick from about 45 meters out, if that's right.
Yeah, that's right. So he's perfectly within his range.
Oh, he's got the strength, but he sends it wide.
Struck it low, and then wide to the right.
And with that, we'll send off into the halftime break. Hong Kong up 21 points to Chinese Taipei 5 in a very dominant half indeed. I believe Chinese Taipei are lucky to get out 16 points down. I think we're going to have a lot to talk about at halftime.
Well, hopefully the coaches will make some technical decision.
We'll be back shortly. Enjoy the break.
Oh, welcome back if you're listening online. I'm here, my name is Bernie Moore from the Taipei Baboons Rugby Club. I'm here with Mr. Bruce Crawford, representative player, state level for Australia back in the day.
Not quite, but...
Very humble man. Flown in today, check out the competition. Observations, Mr. Crawford?
A couple of things here that I noticed. I was liking the way that Taipei are running the ball out in the back line. They were looking pretty smart. They looked like they knew where they were running. The movement, probably need to straighten it a bit more in those sort of areas. Other area I saw, but it's, I think in the scoreline's getting away from them, is that the Hong Kong forward pack. Yep, they're a fairly sizable mob, and they are pushing the fellas, the smaller Taipei fellas, back a bit. So, but what I was noticing, they seem to be tiring, and the Taiwan boys were actually, you know, sucking it up basically, and allowing it, and thinking that they could have that chance in the second half where they'll probably tire a bit their forwards. But yeah, we're going to see about that, see how they run the backs because of the scoreline. Might be getting away from them.
Yeah, the last game Chinese Taipei played, they were against the Sri Lankans, who again were, the Sri Lankans are much bigger than the Chinese Taipei players. And through fitness, I'm pretty sure that the Chinese Taipei were able to overcome the Sri Lankan team, the much bigger Sri Lankan team. Once again, though, this Hong Kong team is even a larger set of forwards than the Sri Lankans or the Koreans. So Chinese Taipei is really up against it. I'm sure there's probably 10 kg plus advantage per player in the forward pack.
Wow, there's certainly a lot there. And especially just from the visual side of it, you can see a massive surge when that scrum goes down. So, but one thing also noticing is that they adapted to that massive surge, that push or the 8-man shove that was coming through the Taipei. They eventually just got the channel ball in, bang, out.
Yeah,
Back,
I think the number 8 took some initiative there and made sure he put his stamp on the game, and he did actually right down in front of us and just over the 22-metre line. Made a good gain of 10 metres on a sort of unopposed run.
Yeah, no, which was, it was good to see, because there's nothing worse than when you, especially if you're in the back line, you're seeing a forward pack going backwards at a rate of knots, and then to take that initiative and pick it up and actually go forward at another 10 metres, which is not a bad effort.
Yep, Chinese Taipei let themselves down immediately after scoring a try when Altair changed direction of the kickoff and put it back into behind the back line, and there was no one there prepared to catch it on the full. The guy that eventually got the ball, the winger I think it was, didn't take it cleanly, and him and the ball were taken out with about 10 metres over towards their own try line, giving advantage back to the Hong Kong team.
Yeah, it's been a bit unfortunate for Taipei for that matter in that 22 area when that ball's been coming back in, as you said. I've been noticing their positional play's been very good, but they just haven't been able to secure the ball. Basically taking it, catching it as it's been put through. So, Hong Kong have been a bit fortuitous.
Okay, here we have the stats here, Chinese Taipei versus Hong Kong. Very clean handling by that, you can see that. Lineouts, Chinese Taipei have lost 1. Hong Kong have been able to win an opposition lineout.
Turnovers, penalties, handling errors. I thought there'd be a few more than that.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei has won some more penalties, but they're actually on a bigger set of warnings.
And if there's the highlights, you can, as we can see, there's a couple of those notable handling errors. But here's some good running. Taipei straight running, offloading, going down. I think they're just lacking a bit of the rest of their forwards. Notably, they're not huge. Just getting to that breakdown to protect those ball carriers a little more, or the halfback.
Yeah. Well, with the forwards being so big from the dominant from the Hong Kong team, when it comes to the lineouts, Chinese Taipei should not be tapping it back to the little halfback.
No, they should be. Well, there are several things you can do. You can be throwing it long, or as it is, if you just take the ball secure, just wrap it up, get your 2 blocks in there, or you pillar it off, get a second ripper in, then you secure, and then utilise it. But it really is just all about securing. But this area here, this play here was actually very good. Good skills, good vision. They actually saw what was going on. They didn't panic after the first phase where the ball was put back inside. The little fella had a dart. Got there, but he got chopped down, but he went down, he took the tackle, he laid it back, and bang, out it went again. And in the corner.
There's Altair's try.
Yeah.
Solo man try.
Yeah, all you can say is good skills.
Of course, good skills.
Very good skills there. I think you mentioned earlier, it was the shades of Dan Carter, wasn't it? Some
I wonder I'm thinking about how Altair would go at number 10.
Yeah.
Might do a bit of a Bernie Larkin, take him in from fullback and put him at number 10. Might be a superstar.
Pretty nice move. What do you do with the number 10?
I've never been a number 10.
Yeah, it's an interesting position, number 10. You've either you got it or you don't. It's a how'd you say? It's a position where you've really got to know how to manage. See what's going on. You've got to always be about 2-3 phases ahead.
Yeah.
Understanding what really is going on, and at the same time you are managing your back line, not only in the attack but in defence, and that's paramount. Is the defence. You're looking around. You've got to work out who's where. People are marked off. Not only are you worried about your backs, you've got your forwards as well, because your forwards are, they've got their head down. They're grindstone. They're kicking it. They're punching away. They are mauling away. They are going hard. And they come out of a ruck to get back in or to stand in a defensive line. They don't really know. They're disorientated. And you are also, that's another thing you've got to do is get them. You just talk to them. Bring them out, just drag them out. But no, there's a lot that goes on with that.
Yeah, in combination with your number 9 and your out inside centre, so
absolutely.
Lots of things to think about. More things than I can handle.
Yeah, that's it. Like you mentioned, the great man, old Dan Carter. Oh, there's been a few of them. But those were the sort of skills he had, and he looked effortless at it.
Yes.
Seamless. Yeah. I think my first impression of him, I saw the British Lions game back in 2005 in Christchurch. I'm an Australian, by the way. I even went over to see a Lions game with the Kiwis.
Good man, good man. Yeah, Dan Carter had an awesome tour that year.
Yeah, and that was the first test match, and then the second test match came round, and I was back home in sunny Brisbane watching it, and the bloke, my mate who's a Kiwi, I was talking to him on the phone while watching it live, watching Dan Carter just rip shreds off the British Lions.
They say imperious, he was almost untouchable.
Yeah, that was just incredible, that game. That was the second test. So yeah, if you ever want to have a look, you can always look at Bernie Larkham too.
Yep.
Bit of a legend.
He was a man who always made time and found time to do whatever he wanted on the field.
Yeah. And there's other fastidious types like Michael Liner or Grant Fox.
Yes.
Notice we haven't mentioned any Poms in that lot.
No, not yet. Maybe later. Next year. Next year.
Next year, yeah.
All right, thank you very much,
All
Mr.
right,
Crawford.
thanks. No
All right.
worries.
I'll lead you back to Mr. John Markowitz and Mr. Wayne Koo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernie.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us back, we're about to get the second half underway with Hong Kong restarting our match from right to left wearing red.
So, John, what do you think the Chinese Taipei coach said to the team?
Chinese Taipei coach would have said something in the neighborhood of, we have some strengths, guys, but we're going to need some creativity and ingenuity if we're going to make our way over the solid red defense. We can't just rest on our laurels. We're going to have to think on our feet. And above all, we're going to have to play as a team. They've done a good job not to get isolated so far, but they're going to have to play with their minds and not just their bodies. It's going to take everything they've got because Hong Kong is holding nothing back.
Absolutely. Well, Chinese Taipei need to win this match in order for them to become champion.
And in fact, so do Hong Kong. And so it's going to be very difficult for both teams for the duration. And both teams have already got off to a cracking start in the second half. We've made almost no distance from the center, but we have a strong run from the number 6 from Hong Kong. This is Walker, who's got his hands on the ball for maybe the second time today, and certainly the first time in a goodly while.
Well, unfortunately for Chinese Taipei, that if they lose this match, they will become third. Because the Korean team has a better points difference.
So big stakes for Chinese Taipei, but for them, fortunately, have just won a penalty. Though inside their half, they should easily be able to clear out, get about 20, 30 meters in touch because they're well in toward the center of the pitch, about 15 in. And sure enough, that's exactly what we see. Well, by an extraordinary effort to try and keep the ball in, but it hasn't quite made it. In fact, that kick has taken us all the way into the Hong Kong 22 for a line out.
That was a beautiful clearance by the Chinese Taipei.
That's as good of a start as you could hope for by a receiving team from the kickoff and restart. And sure enough, we're in for a full line out. And I imagine what crazy antics we'll see in the second half as well. We've been kept off guard, not just ourselves, but apparently the Hong Kong forward pack. Hard to keep up with all the options they've made for themselves. And if they can only be this creative in the other facets of their match, they sure pose a threat to the very strong Hong Kong team. Well, we've gone to the middle of the pack, a pretty traditional start, which of course we didn't expect, but they couldn't maintain the possession. It was a little bit loose in the back, and the Hungry Forest went for more. Have a box kick up, and the fullback chases for seconds, but doesn't get there in time. In fact, the winger, number 14, Duffy, gets there, but not quite in time. So ball secured, and back over the top we go for a clearing kick from Chinese Taipei. Handily fielded, and he's gone for a run. We're about 10 meters into their own half, but he says, I don't mind, let's go. And he's met with absolute 3-on-1, another 2-on-1, and Chinese Taipei are going to put 2 players on every attack is what it looks like so far. They're not letting anybody through. Another tackle. This will be the third phase in about 10 seconds for Hong Kong. And now they've answered by sending 5 or 6 into a ruck, and a little cheeky on the blind side from winger number 11, Leo, who will not give him an extra inch, not one. Hong Kong has been given no other option but to go back toward the center of the field, but they haven't made any ground for themselves. In fact, they've lost a few. We go to the second option, the deep runner, and now we'll run around the side. We're going to see what we can come up with. Oh, but nothing is the answer because the Taipei defense is just too tight on the edge. They say not getting through us again. No way, no how.
Yeah, the Chinese Taipei defense has been the hallmark of this tournament so far. But you can see.
Oh, he's just found a hole. Oh, the props found a hole, and beautiful hands out to his right side. Number 3, Cinnamon, has gone a good distance on his own, but giving up the ghost too quickly. This is phase number 11. Pass out to the right. We're on the far side. Can our fullback take us through again? Well, he hasn't found the edge there. And in fact, he's lost the ball completely. He's left the ball insecure. He left the ball unsecured, and the winger, the Chinese Taipei winger, Lai, has come up with the ball and gone a solid 45 meters on his own. In fact, he could have been away, but just didn't have the gas and was hunted down by maniacal backfield who were trying to make up for lost ground. In fact, they got him in the end and have won their line-out back, but they've gone from 5 meters from scoring and momentum to 5 meters into their own half, Wayne. So
that was an unfortunate mistake by the Hong Kong team. The ball just popped out of the ruck.
No, they just left it unsecured. Possibly they stepped over it a little bit too far, but Chinese Taipei weren't left sleeping, and they've taken their opportunity.
It's a shame, really, because really that's when they look the most dangerous.
They do. They look most dangerous on the counterattack when they want to do it. But boy, some pass and pass. It's poetry in motion from the Hong Kong backfield once again. Although they've managed to lose the ball and recovered well by Chinese Taipei, who've now set the. Well, they've set something, but it was quite messy, and the referees had enough of it. Said, in Hong Kong, you've gone off your feet, so let's start it with a penalty for Chinese Taipei. So things already looking up, Wayne, for Chinese Taipei 5 minutes into the second half.
Well, they need a strong start if they had a chance of winning this match and winning the championship.
Time off.
They do, and I think we've seen them play a bit conservatively, but they're going to have to unleash the demons if they hope to stand any chance. At least that's what the Hong Kong's playing style has suggested. They must be, though we're not issued the pack weights, they must be down about a good 80 to 100 kilograms in weight, so they're at every disadvantage, but they're playing tight and they're playing together so far. And in fact, they're saying we will not go quietly into the night.
Well, I think that's the only chance the Chinese Taipei team can do. They need to be a little bit more adventurous into the in their attack, and a little bit more creative. Since, as you can see clearly, the Hong Kong team have the physiques dominated.
So we've had a couple replacements now. Number 7's come off for Chinese Taipei. That's Liu, and number 19's come in for him, Mr. Li. And looks like our hooker Wang is coming off for a blood bin sub, so we're hoping to see him back in 10 minutes or so. But for the moment, we'll have to let the referee sort out where we go. But I believe we've kicked for touch, and we'll start with a line out to Chinese Taipei shortly, just as soon as we get our injuries sorted out. Hopefully nothing too bad.
Yeah, this
looking a little unsure of himself as he's slowly marching off the field. Not unproud, but having a difficult time to make it. I hope that we'll see him back.
Can I continue?
Well, Chinese Taipei need to play with a little bit of ball in hand, attack a little bit more. Where in the last couple of games, they seem to have the tendency of kicking the ball away when they're inside their own half, and then be content to defense against the other team.
You're right, Wayne. I couldn't agree with you more. They seem to be a bit too mechanical in the previous games, even in the first half, and they must have wanted to start conservative and feel out the other team. But Hong Kong are answering that conservative approach with an aggressive one. They've absolutely gone for broke in that first 35 minutes. Well, the crowd's now getting into it. Even though we're middle of a business day, we still pulled a couple thousand people into the stadium to watch the home team go for championship for the first time in the history of their tournament.
Absolutely. I must say the Chinese Taipei Rugby Union has done a tremendous job hosting the tournament all week.
It's good.
I think these young kids came to Taipei expecting a well-run tournament, and the Chinese Taipei Rugby Union delivered. Oh, that's a
sure enough.
break.
Speaking of delivery, it looks like we found an opening in the center. We have an aggressive run up the middle, all the way out to the side, and all the way back to the middle. An incredible individual run. He's finally caught, but Hong Kong are in the scramble defense, and now they look like they're getting sucked into the right very hard. It's about 4-on-3 on the red side, which will let me know there better be time to go left, and sure enough, the scrum half does. Oh no, he's cha-chinged it again. It'll be a scrum to Hong Kong inside their 22 in front of the sticks. Oh, that was an opportunity gone for one thing, and I'm sure the Chinese Taipei head coach will be scratching his head wondering where the miscommunication was on that one.
That was absolutely 2 men, 1 ball. Neither of them wanted to give it to the other person, so neither of them got it.
Well, speaking of aggressiveness, it seems to have found their place in the Chinese Taipei backline, but possibly a little bit chaotically so, as we found 2 guys attempting to grab the same thrown ball, and I think they would have done well to decide which one of them was going to get it before it was coming.
But before that, the Chinese backline has actually run that move a few times. They run it out and then pull that ball inside, and that inside ball seemed to find a little seam in that red defense of the Hong Kong team.
So perhaps they found the answer, but an injury coming at an unfortunate time when Chinese Taipei had the Hong Kong club under pressure, and now they've had an opportunity to talk about it and find out where the hole in the red curtain lies. Well, time's still off, and we're sorting out a couple injuries from forwards. Wayne, what do you think? What do you think Hong Kong are thinking all of a sudden? Pardon me, Wayne's gone, and we'll welcome back Bernie. Bernie, tell us what have you seen from the box above?
Well, I've seen a lot of exciting play, especially from the Chinese Taipei backline. They've got some really fiery and fast, dodgy guys. And the last break from I couldn't see who it was. I think it was the left winger came in. And
Indeed, it was Leo.
Yeah, I think he just almost made 50 meters on the fly. And a good jinking run. He managed to draw in a couple of tacklers, but unfortunately the Chinese Taipei forwards unable to get the ball released quick enough to set out to the other wing.
Speaking of which, I know they're outmatched as far as weight is concerned, but they're not outmatched as far as intensity. I'd like to see Zhao and Liu, the 6 and 7 combo, up for a little bit more work themselves, even though they've got their hands full in this scrum.
That's right. Get down the feed.
And it down in it, and they've managed to stabilize. So the first time I think I've seen their scrum be stabilized. That's a job well done for their defending scrum. In fact, they've gained some ground. Now we've seen a turn of events.
Yeah, didn't make the advantage line at all.
They didn't quite get the turnover.
And
we have an offside player potentially. What are we going to see? The referee decide, and we're just going to carry on with the kick. It looks like a line out for Taipei just outside the 22.
That's a fair result.
That's a fair result. We're looking very much forward to the creativity and ingenuity of the Chinese Taipei lineout, which to me has been a highlight of the day.
Certainly. They've done some good throws, some tricky ones to the back or front, and then to the center.
Certainly keeping us all guessing.
Yep.
Now we've thrown to the center of the line out through the first jumper, which is a bit miraculous, and managed to make a flat pass out to the center from fly half to center.
Good drive. Good leg drive.
The maul's been defended here. Oh, we're stuck in. We got about 10 players into this maul. Let's see what happens.
Get down to ground.
Couldn't make it in time. The referee says, well, you took it in, but you didn't get it out. So we're going to scrum it back to Hong Kong, just outside the 22.
Running in a bit too upright there. Was it the forward there? I couldn't see.
Bernie, how do you get that maul to the ground? You just get held up, and then what do you do next? What are you thinking as the number 6 and number 7 who are in the center of it?
Well, all I'd be thinking about is trying to tackle my own player and get us all down there.
That's it. Secure the possession and see if we can recycle it out the back, because we know we only have 3 to 5 phases, don't we, to make some real true ground.
That's true. This Hong Kong outfit's very professional on their defensive line.
That's it. If you can't make the broken play in 3 to 5 phases, then you have a real hard time, because they've got to reorganize, and they are quick.
Reset 45 degrees. Reset.
Well, in fact, the Hong Kong scrum is so dominant, they've been too dominant, victims of their own success. They wanted to sneak out the back with another 8-man Yurik, a go, or possibly even Overman off the side corner, but in fact, they've turned it just a little bit too far. Referee Kawahara says, you better come back and try it again. As the under-19 World Rugby laws state, you can only go so far and you can only turn it so much, and you've gone just over the line. So let's give it another crack.
Crouch.
Summer's waiting. 3-on-2 up close up there.
Set. Hold.
Advancing there.
That is a very flat line with absolutely no indication of which direction they're going to run. And sure enough, they go to the right 3-on-2. And they've opted to kick for distance just to put the winger under pressure, but he feels it. Andy Liu says, okay, we'll take it up the center for an up and under to the fullback. Finds he's got to chase because he didn't himself find the touch. Now he's got to put his whole team onside. Well, he makes it. Oh, he makes it. In fact, he makes an amazing attack and manages to stop the counter run at the halfway line and win the line out. That is fabulous bravery by the fullback who cleans up for his own mistake. Good job. That is excellent work from Mr. Lai. That is excellent effort from Lai, who didn't expect to have to go for a run at all, but in fact had to chase his own ball down from his own kick.
Very intelligent defense from the Chinese Taipei team with the 3 back on waiting for the kick.
Excellent quick thinking, but unfortunately we've won the line out for Taipei, and then just giving it up on a ball lost forward. You can tell for sure that they're just not. They almost weren't ready for their own win. But at least their energy levels are up, and we're definitely in for a cracking second half. So far, no points. We're 10 minutes in, with 25 to go. Hong Kong 21, Taipei 5. Phase number 4 for Hong Kong after the broken lineout. Has the ball been stolen for Taipei? Oh, not. No, the ball has been turned over. Handy turnover from Taipei. That is strong work over the ball from number 5. Also, Liao, number 5, good work on top of the ball. Wins the penalty. Referee says, you're in a strong position. You're the first man. You can play the ball.
Very brave work from Liao. Very brave work.
Well, the time's off for just a moment. It seems that we have some replacements come on the pitch. And we'll be restarting with a scrum for Chinese Taipei just inside their own halfway line. Bernie, I'm seeing almost like a tale of two halves here. It appears that we are seeing a Chinese Taipei team come out thirsty for more, and they just can't be stopped. It seems as though their aggressiveness in the forward pack has changed from straight lines to finding space, and the back lines are happy to ask big questions.
That's true. They'll certainly be more assertive on attack and running great lines. The problem is maybe just the last 1 or 2 passes, or the just backing up has just let them down a little bit. They would have been 1 or 2 tries up if they were able to just keep their mind on the game.
That's it. They certainly have all the pieces of the puzzle, and hopefully for them there'll be enough time to put them together. With 29 minutes to remain as we restart with the scrum to Chinese Taipei, just near the halfway line. Well, they'll certainly be looking to get the ball out of here as quickly as they can, won't they?
Yep, hopefully Lin can do something intelligent with this.
Hong Kong is going to line up their backs on the left and certainly try and spin all 44.5 degrees that they're allowed, and try and blanket out the attack and keep the loose forwards from joining the back line in the rush.
Chinese Taipei set to run from both sides of the scrum.
And that's exactly what's gone up, but it's too much.
So early engage?
It's too much pushing from number 1. In fact, they're too dominant again. In fact, so much so that they've been free kicked. And we restart with a free kick to Chinese Taipei, and they're off without saying what. We've gone over the gain line finally halfway on phase number 1. The scrum half comes up with the ball and sends it out left. 2 passes out, but we're slightly isolated. The scrum half comes up for an unopposed ruck. 2 more passes out. We've gone to find some space. Referee says no, there's been no obstruction. The tackle's made. We're going to play on. We've made it all the way to the far side of the pitch, but we'll have to bring it back. This is now the 3rd phase. It'll be the first time we go 4 phases for Chinese Taipei without kicking the ball away, and sure enough, they've decided to keep on to it, and good on them too, because they're going to need to keep possession if they plan on scoring any points. There's been absolutely no holes in the attack from Hong Kong.
And again, just a lapse of concentration there. Unable to keep their phase play going. It's a bit of a letdown for the Chinese Taipei team. Scrum to the Hong Kong team within the Chinese Taipei half.
Oh, they're knocking on the door, Bernie. I do believe we're going to see a little piece of magic before it's all said and done.
Yep.
22 minutes to go with scrum to Hong Kong. They're going to have to rein it in somehow. Their dominance is extraordinary, but the referee says, you know, if you're that dominant, then you don't have to push it more than the 45 degrees you're allowed. So get it right or get penalized. And I suppose we'll see what will happen just momentarily. The scrum half being told to wait a second while the referee stays on the problem side.
Set.
Engagement is on. And we have a clean platform, and Hong Kong goes spinning out to a very traditional hands out to the left, and it seems to work. They've made it to the edge. Strong run from the winger, number 11. Doherty has gone to get his first run in the second half, and he looks pretty thrilled with it, but he better retreat now because he's been caught up just short of the 22. Ball comes out for recycle phase, and
that was a surprise ball for that player there.
Ball's been surprised the center as much as it surprised us, but he's been fortunate and found a player from Chinese Taipei to be in offside position and going to run straight for him. The referee said the tackle, actually, there was no rolling away, so we have a penalty directly in front of the posts. And so far, neither the angle nor the distance has proven to be any difficulty for fullback Altier in Hong Kong, but they say no. We want to put this baby to bed, and we're kicking for touch. We want points. We want 7, not 3.
Well, if they're so dominated so far, they don't actually need that 3 point.
They're going for the throat, it appears. And in fact, they need the extra tries, don't they? Because this tournament isn't just about wins and losses. This tournament is about number of tries scored, and they're trying to secure a victory in each way possible.
Yeah, earlier I think both teams put 4 tries in for the Korean-Sri Lanka game. So Sri Lanka have a bonus point, and so does Korea.
Well, the line out comes in, and no surprise, they go for driving maul, but Chinese Taipei outguess them and start them all early. Not too early, said the referee. Play on. You've been defended once, he says. Shortly, he'll tell them to use the ball, no doubt, as we scoot around sideways into the pitch. Can Chinese Taipei avoid a penalty and stay in? No, they cannot. They've been tempted too much by the forbidden fruit and go into the side of the maul to keep it from rolling around, and the referee's playing a penalty advantage 5 meters from goal. A strong run from Loosehead Cinnamon again. We're just going to go pick and drive for another few phases till the referee's had enough and comes back for a penalty, I imagine.
Well, hopefully they can. Well, hopefully they want to punch a hole through that blue defense of Chinese Taipei.
Chinese Taipei are making it incredibly difficult to go anywhere at all, sideways, forward, or anywhere but backwards. You have to wonder how much longer we're going to be playing the advantage here. We're on the 4th phase since, and now the 5th.
Well, as long as the Hong Kong team get that ball back cleanly, I think the referee's going to contend to let them play on.
So far, we'll see. And now he's saying play on again, which means maybe the advantage is over, but that'd be quite surprising given the fact that the penalty advantage were a few meters in front of goal, almost in front of the sticks as well.
But he's hand gesture up.
And there we finally have come back. And we're going to have to stop the time. We've got a player down from Hong Kong.
I think this tournament is finally taking a toll on these young body. I mean, 3 games in 6 days, that's not a schedule that...
No, it's an extraordinary ask of young men, of any man. As a matter of fact, these boys under 19, these men under 19, some of their first serious challenge, even one rugby match at this level takes its toll on the body, like you mentioned, Wayne. Now I've had 3 in 6 days.
Absolutely.
It may be a bit too much to ask for some, and hopefully the safety of the players is paramount, so referees stop the time and check on the fella. We'll restart. We've kicked for touch. We'll restart with a line out for red, but we still haven't completely sorted out our injury situation in the midfield.
Now it looked like he's up.
He's up and walking, thankfully. And that vulnerability to the players' young bodies is exactly why we only go 70 minutes instead of 80.
I think the Hong Kong will be content to drive this as long as they can.
Oh, and there it goes. The referee will be thinking if that's not a try, it's a penalty try, and it's just walked straight in with almost no opposition. Chinese Taipei will be disappointed in themselves there, I think.
I think so far the Hong Kong forwards been dominating the Chinese Taipei forwards.
They're just so much heavier than their Chinese Taipei opponents that they throw all 7 players into the maul. Number 7, Overman, comes down again. He's just too strong with the ball. He's too strong with the ball. No one's going to push him around. The maul wheels around. Chinese Taipei have just been penalized for going into the side of the last. They can't get penalized for it again. They know it'll be a penalty try. They do everything they can, but they just don't have the body weight to keep them from marching over the line.
Absolutely. I mean, you can teach all the skill you can, but you can't teach size.
They say there's no substitute for gas, but if you have 8 forwards marching in who outweigh you by 100 kilograms, I'd say that's a fair effort.
Well, Mr. Ote is lining up for the kick. It's gone through Ote's ritual.
So far, he's 3 for 3 on conversions. Can he make it 4 for 4?
It's a pretty difficult kick. It's pretty like 5 meters in from the sideline. Distance is rough.
It's an austere angle, but so far he's been dead down the pipes in every opportunity. Now he's taking every minute off the clock that he can. Now the roars are coming from the crowd. He's undistracted. He's actually not quite got the distance, I believe. He's made the angle just fine, but somehow manages to put it underneath the crossbar, and I guess we finally found a chink in his armor.
Well, that was about a meter under the crossbar, but
not bad.
But it was right between the posts, like you said. Had the angle, but just not quite the legs.
So, in fact, he's 3 for 4 on the kicks now. The score is 26-25. Or correction there, 26-5 with Taipei to restart. Oh, a massive run from the very first opening restart. That's Christensen, the loose head, with a blistering run. Takes 4 men to bring him down. And the first are told to sit right down.
Yeah, I wish the score was 26-25, but unfortunately.
No, I misstated. It's Hong Kong 26, Chinese Taipei only 5. It's starting to look a little bit difficult in the next 15 minutes to come back for 21 points, but never say never. That's why we play the game. And in fact, the pressure is too much at the moment for the set piece, and the up and under goes for one thing, and they've knocked it on for themselves. They couldn't quite clear it out of their own half, so they decided for the up and under, but it couldn't quite make it out. Knocked it on over the halfway line on the effort to retrieve. So we'll restart with a scrum to Chinese Taipei.
Well, if the game keep going the same way that it's going so far, I think Hong Kong will retain the title for the 7th time in a row. That's some dominance.
And they've really brought everything they could to the final match. They barely were scraping through, it seemed at times, but they opened today just kicking and screaming and said, "We'll not take no for an answer. Not in the scrum, not in the back line, not on our defense." And so far they've proven it almost impossible to get through.
I think in that first match versus the Korean, maybe they were caught off guard a little by how good the Korean team was. So therefore they narrowly lost that game, even though the Korean was fairly dominant throughout the whole match. But Hong Kong's got a late try in that match to bring the score into a little bit of respectability.
And all respect due to the Korean team as well, who, though haven't had the best win-loss record of the tournament, have only narrowly lost all 3 of the matches which they have. And they did manage to get it away unscathed, but not unscathed from Sri Lanka, winning today only by 3 minutes from a late penalty. Oh, but Chinese Taipei have found some handy work off to the left from that scrum. They get the ball out quickly, send 4 passes out to the left, nearly getting around the last winger, but not quite. So they've been forced to recycle it in, but now on the 3rd phase, they'll send it back toward the center. At about their own halfway now, running. Oh, with a flat pass in, but he's been caught by a center. Oh, and he's lost the ball forward on an unexpected pass behind him. Oh, and he's picked it up from an advantage. It looks like Walker's gone for another stroll on his own. In fact, he did. He made it about 15 meters on his own from a loose ball, but he seems to have lost it himself. And now Chinese Taipei come up with it. The Chinese Taipei have come up with it with broken play inside their own half, about 10 meters from half. All the advantages have been played. All the advantages have been over. We kick for a run, but he's just put a little bit too much on the clearing kick, the scrum half. And we're just going to come back. The kick's gone directly out.
That was very, very unfortunate. He actually had the number on the outside.
Oh, he found the space beautifully, didn't he, Wayne?
Yep.
He did. He's just put a little bit too much on the kick, and instead of Hong Kong being under pressure inside the 22, they're coming all the way back to 10 meters inside the Chinese Taipei half.
But that really is the only vulnerability that Hong Kong's been shown so far, is
Kicking and kicking defense, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, like, the defense on the outside. I think the Chinese Taipei hitting this a little bit more quicker than the Hong Kong wing. And then Chinese Taipei has found some space out there.
Well, it's another strong run from the back line, but it seems like they've found a little bit of fatigue because now they've knocked it on 3 times in the last minute and a half. And the referee says no advantage is going to come from this one, I'm afraid. So we'll come back for the scrum to the Chinese Taipei.
Okay, I'm going to hand it back, the mic back to my esteemed colleague, Mr. Bernie Moore. Bernie?
Welcome back, Bernie.
Yes, welcome to me. Thank you for informing Mr. John Michaels that Mr. Bernie Moore is in the house. Mr. Koo?
Well, we're all lucky to have you back, Bernie, let me tell you. And thank you, Mr. Koo, for helping us out the way you have so far. We look forward to seeing you back before the game's over in just about 11 more minutes. We'll restart now with the Chinese Taipei scrum. Boy, have they ever had all out of work. We got to hand it to the guys in the front row who have given it every ounce of their strength and have actually come up with the ball. They've never lost their own scrum, and that is a huge testimony to their dedication, to their strength, to their determination. Just as soon as I've said it, unfortunately, the ball's come quickly out of the scrum, been sent back, but under huge pressure from the fast approaching Hong Kong backline. It forced a turnover by way of knock-on. Now the referee is playing advantage inside the 22.
Chinese Taipei got to switch on here.
He's told us advantage over, so now it's Chinese Taipei advantage, or pardon me, Chinese Taipei opportunity to really put the pressure on. They filled in the back line. Will there be one more pass out? No, he says. He's getting ready for an intercept, but the quick thinking Hong Kong center says, I don't think so. Maybe I'll keep it on for myself, and he does, on for another 2 phases. He's worse for the wearer in the center. Hopefully it's just a bit of a tight calf, because we're certainly slow to get up. Huge. Another strong run from the prop. He's unstoppable. That's Christensen in again. His running is unbelievable for a prop, for a center, for a fullback, for anybody. He runs and absolutely smashes his opponents. In this case, doesn't even get touched by one. They've had enough, and they just can't contain him. Yeah,
very patient work from the Hong Kong team, biding their time.
That's number 8. Once again, the work rate from Yurka has been exemplary for his club. Bernie, so far to me, with only 10 minutes remaining in the match, actually be closer to between 8 and 9 minutes remaining after the kick for points. You have to say that Chinese Taipei have given it a really good run, but 31 points down 5. You'd expect it to be a little bit difficult to come back from here, wouldn't you?
Yep, it would be a task, certainly, to try and overcome the Hong Kong team from this big deficit. But Chinese Taipei probably got a couple of good more chances in scoring some points, some quick points, and giving some respectability back to the score for the home team.
They would like to end it on a high note.
Yeah, certainly.
Altair lines it up for his 5th attempt at a conversion kick. Another cheeky horn blast, but it only seems to help him as he's pegged it right through the center of the posts. Making it 4 kicks from 5 attempts. An outstanding performance, including 4 conversion kicks and possibly the best individual try I've seen scored in the entire tournament. Fullback Altier is winning the day for me.
Yeah, he's certainly a really classy player. I expect to see a lot more of this guy in the future.
The restart from Chinese Taipei. Not a huge surprise as we put it into the 22. He would have liked to get some more air underneath it for a better challenge. Gives a little bit too much time for Hong Kong to return it with a counter kick. We find ourselves once again up at the halfway line. Chinese Taipei in possession on a broken play. Oh, can we find some space out to the right possibly? No, we cannot, because the Hong Kong backline speed is just too much. In fact, the ball comes out under huge pressure.
Getting a little sloppy here from Chinese Taipei.
Possibly getting a little bit fatigued, possibly getting a little bit desperate for some points.
Lost ball.
And he's lost it forward again, unfortunately. Wayne, welcome back. We've just lost the ball forward to Hong Kong, who have put together excellent defensive effort. Put Chinese Taipei under all kinds of pressure. The line speed is immense.
I think you were right. I mean, the fatigue is starting to show. I mean, three 15-man match in 6 days. It's going to take a toll on anybody, even if you are a professional player, let alone.
This hasn't been a match of wide open spaces on too many occasions, but the players, make no mistake, have been taking true punishment. The collisions have been real. The effort has been massive on both teams. We've been going 22 to 22. With extraordinary effort and strength on both clubs. The players just must feel a little bit of that fatigue to creep in. We know they're fit, we know they're drilled, but we start to see some signs they're losing their concentration just a bit. That's about the 6th knock on in the last 10 minutes.
I think you got to give a big hand to the Chinese Taipei.
Agreed. In fact, they haven't said it's over yet because they've taken advantage of some loose play on Hong Kong's, speaking of lapse in concentration and slippery hands, and forced a clearing kick off fullback in retreat. In fact, we did very well to get that ball off in the first place. That's not actually the fullback. That's Summers, who have managed to clear that ball very well under huge pressure from Taipei, about 5 meters from his own goal and facing his own dead ball line. That's an excellent kick from Hong Kong winner.
Well, it's all of nothing with only 6 minutes to go. Taipei desperately need to score here.
And they go over to the top to the hind man, and that's a move we haven't even seen today. So they just won't stop with the creativity. They won't say it's over. They sure will not. Down 33 points to 5 maybe, but they aren't going to quit no time soon. They throw 5 men into the ruck. They're inside the 22, and now they're ready for going left and going right. They choose right to go to the weak side. Not weak for them. They're hoping weak for Hong Kong, and there are fewer players, and now we're definitely going to go all the way back to the left to see if we can find a hole in the defense. Once again, the Hong Kong line speed has been extraordinary, and their ability to reorganize has been so far too much, and it's forced another knock on from Taipei.
One step back, please.
The referee says the advantage is on so far. Looks like our 8-man's there to clean up the ruck again. We're still inside the 22, and we've just heard the advantage is over. So we'll see if we can, we'll see what will come of it, because that was a very unlucky time for advantage to be over, as Hong Kong gets stuffed into their own corner just outside the 22, and they have no option to clear the kick. Oh, they seem not to mind. They go to the strong side, see some space in the back, but he can't quite find touch. In fact, he can't even find an open space. Oh, and we're off to the races. Look what we got here. One more pass to the left, but it goes nowhere. It goes to no one. However, it's been cleaned up by the wing. And we're still going. We're still going strong. Hong Kong players over the top, but he's off the floor. The referee says you're off your feet, and that's not going to be good enough. You've slowed it down. He says we'll play the penalty advantage from the 22.
Going back for
and
a penalty.
Back we come.
Unfortunately, this is me signing off. It's been a pleasure commentating for you all week. Unfortunately, I'm needed pitch side for the trophy ceremony.
Wayne, before you go, can you give us your player of the match today?
Player of the match, I think OTA, the fullback for Hong Kong, has been tremendous. throughout the tournament, and today he really put his stamp on the match.
I couldn't agree more with you. We'll see what the tournament officials say, but for me, it's between the work rate of Altier and his precision accuracy, his deftness, and the 8-man Yamelka. Okay, Wayne, thank you very much. Well, looks like another broken play, and perhaps we all spoke too soon, because number 11, Doherty is in for his second try.
Well, unfortunate ending there for the Chinese Taipei. They were highly looking like hardly going to score a try in the front there, but unfortunately they were.
Hey, just caught unawares, a bit messy.
Yeah.
And from his own 22, Doherty goes untouched, kicks the ball free from the ground, and there's just nobody behind him, and nobody's going to catch him. His pace has been outstanding, and like we said before, there's just no substitute for gas. And boy, does he ever have it. And that gives an opportunity to fullback Altier, the Wayne Koo man of the match, for a 6th conversion. Well, he lines up, and the distance and the angle haven't proven a problem for him so far. He's just about 25 meters away from the posts, just outside the 22 and 15 in. Somewhere between 25 and 30 meters of distance, but he's more or less square on. There's no sun in his eyes. And it seems like any amount of distraction the fans can offer haven't really hurt his chances at all.
He's cool as a cucumber, this young man.
And as the horns come, you have to suggest it only makes him stronger. The approach is on. The kick is strong. Will it find the distance? It's got the angle. Oh, it does not.
Stayed wide.
It stayed wide. Well, you're asking a lot of the man. That was a 6th. That was a 6th effort. And you know he's so far scored 4, so we're going to cut him a break. He's still the Wayne Koo man of the match. Excellent for him, scoring 13 points of his very own in what so far is 38 points. Hong Kong, Chinese Taipei 5 with only just over a minute remaining. Oh, India little box kick from the scrum half, and up and under. We have a serious chase. The referee says a good contest. Who's come up with it? We don't know yet, actually. Looks like in the end it was Chinese Taipei who came up with it, but they've stepped into goal. That was an excellent kick right on the line of touch from the scrum half. Number 9, Mr. Down, has had a very good match in general. His kicking hasn't been as strong as he normally likes it, but that was an excellent find for a pressure kick on touch. Well, the ball's been won out of line out for Chinese Taipei, but
Kick the ball.
But to no avail. It's been kicked away, kicked through a couple times loose, and now it's finally been kicked into touch in desperation by chasing Chinese Taipei, but it'll be another 5-meter line out. Bernie, you'd have to guess, if it were me guessing anyway, I'd have to imagine they're going to go for one more driving maul.
Yeah, end the game with a statement. They've certainly got the advantage in the forwards there to do such an action, but they've got to be able to get their possession, right?
Oh, but it seems as though they haven't managed to throw properly. It's 2 in a row that Chinese Taipei have stolen. They kick it now for distance, but they might be out of time, so they can't quite find, they don't want to find touch, that is.
And that should be the last
But in fact, they have. They've unfortunately found touch. Unlucky, just as the buzzer went, he was kicking for the clearance, and the ball has found touch, and that'll bring us to a close here. Hong Kong 38, Chinese Taipei 5 points.
Yes, congratulations to the Hong Kong team. They made it through to the first division.
Congratulations indeed are owed. Maybe they didn't put forward the performances they thought they would early in the tournament, but they've only gotten stronger and stronger as the 6 days continues. Surely they're going to enjoy a well-deserved victory celebration after the match.
Certainly, and well done to the Chinese Taipei team. By far the smaller team, but they had the biggest heart, I'm sure.
Thank you very much, Bernie. We're just dying to know, who's your Bernie Moore man of the match?
The Bernie Moore man of the match. Well, I'd say it would be the highest point scorer for the winning team. Our number 15, the fullback, Altier again. He seems to make it seems to be Mr. Consistency when he's on the field.
Even his kicks that he missed were only by barely so.
Yeah.
He's done an excellent job clearing for distance.
Thank you.
You can only imagine he's made one mistake all day, but I couldn't tell you rightly what it was. He's done an excellent job, and for me, I have nothing else to offer that he is, in fact, the man of the match. Congratulations to you, Mr. Altier. Congratulations to your team, Hong Kong, who've succeeded to make it up to the top division and maintain the top division in Asia Rugby. And once again, like you said, congratulations to the efforts of the Chinese Taipei, who put forward their best tournament so far, making it all the way to the end before finding a loss.
Welcome to
The
Taiwan.
players tunnel up to send the Chinese Taipei off into the
all
locker
the
rooms,
rugby
and
fans
that'll
in
bring us to a
Asia?
close for this
I
year's
would like to say that this was a
Under-19
very,
Asia
very
Rugby
exciting week of
.com
rugby,
tournament.
especially to
Yes,
see
if
the
you're
young
able to stay
talent,
with us,
the
stay
way
with us
they've
for the Beatles
played
presentation or the
entirely,
presentation at the end.
you know,
You'll
putting
finally
their
get to
hearts
see our
out.
friend
The
Mr.
quality of
Koo,
the game has been
the
so
mysterious
good.
Mr.
So
Koo.
it's just
The
really
mysterious Mr.
marvelous.
Koo will present the trophy
会长
medals.
说他非常
Thanks
开
again
心，
for
非常
joining
兴
us
奋的
all
来
day
这边
long.
一起参与这个
Final
盛事
score:
哦
Hong。Kong
那也
38, Chinese Taipei
看到我
5.
们这次的比赛呢，这个办的质量非常的高。那我接下来再问他另外一个问题，Hello， how do you think about this tournament？
I think that I said, but you know, the tournament's been really fantastic, and you know, I congratulate all the teams that have participated. The last game has been very nice. It's just awesome. The entire to see youngsters play is really what Asia wants. We want our young people to start playing good rugby and move up to high performance.
OK， 这个会长他说呢，他非常开心看到这次的比赛办得这么的圆满，那尤其是看到我们这么年轻的小将，各国的年轻小将都这么的拼命打出这么好的比赛，这是他在亚洲橄榄球协会非常乐于见到的。Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 那接下来我们来介绍一下我们的中华民国橄榄球协会的理事长黄汉昌黄理事长。理事长好。
哎，辛苦了。
不会，理事长，那有什么话可以跟我们全国的观众朋友说一下？
首先我要谢谢到现场来的所有的观众，更谢谢在透过媒体透过网络收看这场比赛的所有的全国的观众对橄榄球的支持。这是一个很符合台湾人精神的这个运动。我们呢协会呢基于推广运动的立场，基于对于选手的这种鼓励。我想我们以后还有更多的这个比赛呈现给全国的观众，也希望呢慢慢培养台湾的橄榄球人口。它的确是一个与其他运动不一样的地方。我们的选手他们的拼劲，其实某一个程度可以让各位观众看到什么是真正的台湾的精神。谢谢。
谢理事长。那我们前2场比赛中华队表现都可圈可点，这场虽然很可惜我们输掉了比赛。那我们还是请理事长帮我们跟选手、跟教练打个气。
没有问题。协会的立场呢，绝对是他们的靠山，我们绝对是他们的这个最大的支持。我们也结合全国的力量，全国这个爱好橄榄球这个精神呢，来支持我们的球队。协会呢也会一步一步的把我们的实力呢慢慢往上提升。希望能够在未来提供更好、更精彩的比赛，分享给全国的观众。谢谢。
谢谢理事长，我们谢谢理事长，谢谢。那接下来我们访问我们的总教练李建林。总教练你好。
大家好。
今天的比数可能不是我们所预见的哈，那但是可不可以还是请你说明一下，今天中华队不管是进攻还是防守出了什么的问题呢？
其实经过2场激烈的比赛之后，选手其实在身体的状况可能没有那么好了。那其实进攻机会还是有了，但是就出现了多次失误，失去了一些可以得分的机会，那导致说当对方得分的时候，士气就一直被带下去这样子，这是今天比较关键的地方。
是，那我们可以看到。不管是上半场、下半场，香港队他进攻的策略就非常的明显，他就是跟你来硬的，靠他们的身材优势。那前锋的部分，上半场的确是对我们的防守线的破坏的确是非常的大。那今天我们在上半场这样的状况之下，我们有对球员 有上调什么其他的战术或什么策略吗？
其实我们还是主要以移动攻击啦，那后卫做一点变化来，像刚才上半场其实，上下半场其实都有了，都有战术成功，然后有突破的状况，只是说后面都没有把握这样子。
没有关系，谢谢你。虽然我们没有办法明年去打世界杯，但是我们还是非常感谢您给我们带中华队来让所有的全国观众朋友都看到这么精彩的3场比赛，谢谢你。那不知道李教练这边还有什么话跟大家说一下？
这整个集训啊，一直到比赛，那我们要很感谢八方云集，那提供了无限的没有限量的那种餐点让我们让我们吃，然后还有凯罗的健康协会，那他每天会派3个博士过来帮我们做身体调整。那其实前2场比赛选手的状况可以调整到那么好，也是因为这凯罗健康协会他的博士帮我们做很多的伸展啊，或者是脊椎的一些调整这样子。那其实我们孩子现在都还小啦，就是说像我们里面包含了9个高中生，那有16个明年都还可以符合年龄继续打，那我们会继续努力，继续想办法明年把冠军杯留在这里，继续努力这样子。
谢谢我们的李教练，谢谢。那我们进一下广告，待会就把时间还给主播，谢谢。
Asians. The Asians. Go to broadcast HQ.
good.